Oh,
no.
Dude.
On the dark side of the moon.
Didn't even change it.
That is meme perfection right
That's
there.
actually great.
Dirterotic.com.
Well, with the boys, I kept track of it. I even went back and completely wasted my time and watched caught up on all the seasons, which I really didn't need to talk about much in my video at all because I just focused on the finale. And that's not that the comics were the greatest story ever written, but they were way more complex. They had twists and turns. They had logical things happened.
But they were also good too.
Yeah, this was a joke that ran on too long to where the people who even liked the joke were sick of the joke.
Yeah.
And now everybody fucking hates this finale, except for the corporate critics. They're going to love it because it was a Trump joke. That's all to get 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. All you have to do is make fun of Trump. Pretty fucking easy.
All you got to do is say Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
It is a bit of I think, a stake to the heart. If they're going to insist over and over again, it's like you only hate it because it makes fun of politician you like. It's like, well, then couldn't I just say you only like it because it makes fun of politician you hate?
Yes, you can.
Which is more superficial.
Yes,
it's a funny comeback because, like, what was it, last season or season 3? I said that, and people were like, "You're only mad because it's making fun of you." I'm like, "Well, first of all, you don't even know my politics. Second of all, so it's always been bad." And they're like, "Well, no, that's not what I'm saying." I'm like, "No, you just said it's always been bad. You're just mad that it's making fun of you specifically." Like, so
and it's always been bad since season 1.
Since season 1 is kind of solid, man. I was like, "Yo, this kind of works."
In my video, there is a clip of Kripke saying, "Yeah, we did the first season before Trump, and then we started to change it after that, and that's when it went downhill."
I'm just saying, Homelander is a completely fucking different character in season 1.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
It's one of the things that hits me when you rewatch is just how much is implied he's aware of, that he's controlling in the background, that he doesn't even want people to necessarily know. There's that one scene people have been sharing. It's just like, yeah, we never got to see more of this, where they're all talking about numbers. I think Translucent's like, my DVD sales, my T-shirt sales, whatever. And Homelander's like, please stop. You know, Starlight is here. Please tell me about the people you've saved. Let's talk about Black Noir. You go first. Like, it's obviously, in retrospect, especially even with that season, because the way that he behaves, you're like, oh, that's like a front he puts on. But you wonder how many details or what layers or what accurate, like what's going on there. But he does it in a way that it's delivered. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's manipulating people. He's carrying the room. He's controlling shit, and that makes him that much scarier. It's not just about the fact that he has powers. It's like, I wonder how he's going to use them in what ways. But the more the show goes on, the more he just becomes a fucking moron.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, okay. And then it's like, I love it when idiots get killed because they're the people I hate.
Yep. It's not even just that, though. His powers, weirdly, when he gets to V1, his powers seem to become lesser because we see him lose a fight to 2 people. But there are thousands of soups across the world. If he really is that much of a pain in the arse that he has to be stopped because he's going to destroy the world, all the soups could just beat him up. They could easily restrain him if they just teamed up in a little group. If two of them.
That would have been a better ending if they had made an army of soups go for him.
Yeah, well, forgetting that, like, during Herogasm, he had Soldier Boy, who is technically his equivalent, and is actually maybe even more powerful than him in some aspects, pinned him to the floor. And you have 2 other guys on souped up, like, Temp V, pinning him to the floor. He still overpowered those 3 guys. There's a lot of implications that Homelander is constantly actually holding back on the people around him. Because, like, to your point, Mahler, there's something genius about Homelander's a manipulative piece of shit. He's actually way smarter than he lets people think he is.
Yeah.
And that Stan Edgar's smarter than he is. It makes the layers way worse of like, holy, there's a lot going on here. And you think there's a big chessboard and people are playing on it. And some of these guys don't even have powers and don't care because he's based on a character, obviously, from the comics who's, I don't remember that character's name, but like he doesn't have any powers. He doesn't give a shit what Homelander thinks and what he does because he's like, I know what I'm doing. Those layers and that setup feel like we're going somewhere, and then they became so obsessed with making him, like, humiliating him and talking shit about him and making him seem like an idiot that they completely undercut all of his, like, plans. Yeah.
And then they did that with Sage in season 4. I thought the ending of season 4 where Sage walks in, it was like, oh, I was playing an idiot to get us to this point where we actually won. Everything went according to plan, and that was interesting at that point, and they threw it away instantaneously because they didn't know what else to do.
Then she turned into Thrawn.
Yeah, that was some Thrawn shit, dude. There was nothing about anything she said. She couldn't have controlled for any of those variables. She really got herself killed a few times.
Eric Kripke kind of explains why, and it does change in the Variety interview. He says, well, the problem with that character is she's the smartest person in the world, and we can't write that. So he knew full well that he was incapable of writing the character that he needed
and what's really funny about that is like, go ahead.
Well, his entire thing of the story was they were going to, because it was a new creation, so they were going to make the most smartest person in the world, and then he said, someone in the room said, what if we made her an African-American woman, because then no one would pay attention to her. So she's the smartest person in the world, can solve everything, but is completely ignored. But now you're a load of idiots writing her. You're making her seem like a DEI hire, both in real life and in the show, which everyone has to all kind of fake believe that she's the smartest person, because everyone knows she isn't, because the way she's written what she's doing. And so even when she fails at the end, it comes across as she's just an idiot. It's like, oh, it was all love. It's like, no, she was never really that smart, and she's been...
I was just gonna say, there's like rules even to writing. When you write a character that's smarter than you, like there are tricks and things that you can do. You have to give them a lot of like Deus Ex Machina and things that they would necessarily know that you would never be able to figure out. There are tricks to make a smart character and write a smart character that's smarter than you are, but they don't know that, because they think everybody thinks the way that they do, and all their characters think the way that they do, except for Homelander, which is funny because the more they make him not like them, the better of a character he is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and the more interesting he is, because he has depth and they don't have any depth. And like Sister Sage is a terrible character. And I do agree with Fake Wizard. Like at one point you're like, yo, maybe I was wrong. Maybe she has got a lot of stuff figured out. And they're like, nope, she's stupid as fuck. Like
I got the vibe she was a self-insert fantasy thing again, of the whole I'm just so smart I'd have to take pieces of my brain out in order to survive being surrounded by these people that I hate.
That could have been an interesting concept. Like that as an idea is an interesting idea, and I'm annoyed that that's where it went nowhere from there. So it's like, is it a Thrawn thing? 100%. But it's like, okay, somebody that's so smart, knowledge is pain. They have to take their brain out just to be able to like cope. And then do nothing with it.
I think that's essentially a stupid person's idea of what it's like to be clever. And I think it's because Eric Kripke feels like this. He's got a chip on his shoulder, everything else. I think this is why he's having to go at Elon Musk and everything, and Trump and everyone else. And he doesn't try and aspire to them. He doesn't try and improve himself. He tries to drag everyone down by humiliating them to his level. And I think he's doing that with intelligence. It's like, well, if I was smart, I'd have to drag down.
Eric Kripke is like Homelander. He's acting exactly like him.
No,
so maybe
funny.
that's why he identifies. He's living out his murder fantasy, his rage, leftist, progressive murder fantasy by using Homelander. It dominated the show. It fucking overshadowed Carl Urban as Billy the Butcher, who was supposed to be the real villain of the fucking show. And he stuck with that so long, he got trapped. And then they tried to like put some of the comic at the end, which like at this point, you're so far off. Yeah. People were expecting shock and awe. There's a whole fucking scene, you know, I think it's season 3, where they're setting all this up. And instead of scorched earth, you get a little stained carpet or everything. But, you know, all the people he's trying to own, Kripke's acting just like he thinks they act.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He obviously obsesses about this guy.
I find as well, the scene you're talking about where they like vaporize a whole bunch of people is horrifying. You also get the whole, when he describes in detail to Starlight how he would destroy the world, which is quite interesting. Where he says he's going to start like major places for power and all kinds of like transport supplies and all the major governmental forces and stuff. Just saying it in a way that sounds like he's thought about it in good detail and that it's probably going to happen eventually, inevitably. The other thing that bothers me about this is like people will tell you online, the media literacy people will say like, do you understand he's the bad guy? And you're like, okay, do you know one of the most popular characters in fiction is Darth Vader? Do you think anyone thinks he was the good guy?
One of the most popular TV characters, Archie Bunker.
I don't understand. Like, it's like, you know, they're not even remotely, one,
Al
not
Bundy.
listening, and two, pretending like they don't understand anything that's being said here. It's like, your only issue is you wanted him to win because you thought he was the hero or something. You're just like, what are you talking?
Who was everybody's favorite character from Heroes, which only had one good season? Sylar.
About Sylar.
Yeah.
I think all my favorite characters are like
Raymond
it's
Reddington,
because Arvin Sloane. They're all the villains.
It's because like in real life, actual villains are not a thing you want to think about or like actually like praise. So when you write a great villain, you're like, man, I don't necessarily relate to this, but I can respect what it represents. I mean, like Thanos in Infinity War. You're like, yo. This guy, like that conviction and that level of like drive and push to like, you can respect a good villain, and you can and they're iconic because they represent the worst of humanity, and you can appreciate seeing that done well. But these people, all of their writing is self-inserts, so they can't write villains that are beyond their morality. They're writing people that they think this way and they feel this way, and like you said, Kripke actually created himself in the show. Homelander becomes more and more like him as the show goes on because he's obsessed with that, and that's the way he would act. And whenever like you present that to somebody, go like, well, he's a Trump insert. I'm like, so they think Trump is the most powerful being in the world and could burn the whole thing down to a cinder, and you should probably be careful about how you act around this person. No. He's a man child. He's a loser. He's a, I'm like, well, it's got to be
lane. Yeah. It's hysteria. That's what it's always been. And the thing is, he wasn't even in office for most of the fucking show.
Yeah.
For most of the show, he wasn't in office, and they were still fucking obsessing over him instead of, I don't know, creating a show that everybody could watch. Again, like, go after the fucking right. I don't give a shit. Just go after the left just as hard. It would be fucking hilarious, but they just didn't do it.
Well, they can't because we're on that side. That's
because they have no sense of humor.
Yes.
And they actually think that when they wake up in the morning that we are the definitive good guys. Period.
Yeah,
end of story.
They can't even comprehend a different worldview to put it in their show.
No.
Like, there would just be, well, obviously we're correct. There is no way to do that. So even when, I think it was in season 2, but maybe season 3, people were like, well, they are doing both sides because they had, like, woke stores. And they're like, see, they're taking the piss out of woke. They were taking the piss out of corporations using woke to make money.
100%.
It was never against the actual messages. It was just, you shouldn't take our symbolism. But going back to the Homelander destroying things, they just lied to the audience. There's a poster advertising this season of Homelander above the White House with loads of soups all around him. Never happened.
Because it's from the comics.
Yeah, they knew. They fucking knew.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yes, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So, the episode felt small. The whole season felt small and repetitive or redundant, whatever you want to use there. And they were chasing MacGuffins constantly. For the 5th season in a row, how do we kill Homelander? Gee, I wonder how we're going to do that. But they're essentially just there to stop a speech to a public that doesn't believe. They needed more time to establish the whole God thing is not in the comics. So they needed a full season of him being immortal and proving that, and then trying to convince the public. And I get the whole like we're just going to be afraid, but I would have gone way more into him being smart and manipulative, right? And using both sides against each other. That would have been way more interesting. And then more superheroes at the end too. Bigger battle at the end.
Well, that was, but the whole point was to humiliate him. He had to be wrong even in his own efforts. And he needed to grovel at the end because the whole point of Homelander is that he's a Trump allegory. Yep. And they're allowed to do this because, it's a satire. We're able to hide behind satire and do whatever we want. It doesn't matter what we do. It's satire.
But if you wanted to stick with which they haven't, the theme of the comics, which is corporatism bad, and superheroes as celebrities and politicians too, it would have been way better and way more real to have somebody manipulating both sides to fight each other. I mean, that's what we live through every fucking day.
Which is why, like Stan Edgar's speech when he tells MM, he goes, "Bro, I'm just gonna let them burn it down." He goes, "You think I'm like having trouble here? I'm just gonna sit in this bunker, let them burn it all down, and I'll come right back and I'll keep doing my thing, no matter what the form looks like. I'm good." And MM's like,
back in the boys' Mexico.
And I kind of legitimately love that moment with MM because this is the first guy he actually can do something about. And he goes, "Bro, I'm gonna have to put a bullet in your skull at some point." And he goes, like, "Good luck." Like, I love that. That moment is great. Or like, you also get the moment with what's his name, the guy that Homelander kidnaps or whatever. He goes like, "You're probably gonna kill me, right?" And he goes, "Yeah." And he goes, "Bro, I feel bad for you. You have no idea what you're dealing with. You have no idea how much you've been manipulated." It's a great moment. And then Homelander goes,
the Paul Reiser scene?
Yeah. And he goes,
when
"Get out of here."
Talking about eating assholes? Yeah.
Yeah. But like in a moment, you get like a moment of like real two characters actually having a conversation. And you go, "Man, this is kind of genius. If they had kept doing this show could have been something."
Yeah.
It completely got in its own way. Because I was going to say, if coming back to the fight, right, there's so many of these meaningful angles you can take for meta context or subtext and just different angles, history and stuff.
Yeah.
Just to appeal to the fundamental lizard brain of myself here, why can't I have my big fight? Where they have to a hard-won fucking fight, just for like reference here, right? If you end Pelennial Fields and Minas Tirith and they're thinking like we got to go to the Black Gate, and then Frodo and Sam they head into to Mount Doom, they're on their way to the Black Gate, and then Frodo walks in and tosses the ring, and Sauron dies. And you're like, oh. And again, it would be like, oh well, yeah, okay, I guess that was always possible, but like ignoring the fact that all of this power scaling shit destroys any argument for how this made sense. If you did this, it's like, oh well, that kind of, and they go, oh, you wanted Sauron to win? You're like, no, I wanted it to be hard to beat him.
Yes.
I want my heroes
to have a challenge.
You wanted a good story? You wanted a good
story
story with a good ending? How dare you?
It's not even just about being a good story, though, because if you have a really weak, pathetic villain that is nothing and is always failing at all times, then everyone else that can't beat him throughout 5 seasons is also really weak, pathetic, and I don't know why I'm supposed to care if any of them die, because you can't even beat this guy. This entire series was inventing new ways to solve the solution they already had.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, well, we've got the virus, but we can't use the virus. So now we're going to have to destroy the virus. But now we've got the virus back, so now we have to invent V1 to make him immune to the virus that we don't have, that we're going to use at the end anyway, but we're not going to use it. So, and that's why his immortality and stuff was only there as an excuse of why they weren't using the virus. It had no other story purpose. It felt like they didn't have a story. There was no goal. For 5 seasons, they've gone, we need to kill Homelander. You should have just killed him, and so you can move on. Because all you've done is you could have done this entire thing in two episodes, and you wouldn't have really missed much story because you've only gone after one guy.
The villain for the whole series, if you really are paying attention, right, as far as I thought the show's translated, is Vought. It is the they've done all these horrors to all these different people, and it's like, did Vought come crumbling down in a very public way? It's like, not really, no. The show became all about killing and humiliating the shit out of Homelander, who, and I'm serious, I know he's a monster. I'm very clear about that, but he was also a little kid that they tortured. Like, he became that from what they did to him, and the repercussions for them is what? It's like, well, they'll just go on.
And they mentioned even in the show that another Homelander will show up. Yes. You know, the Butcher's like, we got to kill all the Soups, and he wasn't entirely wrong. So
yeah, but that's because Vaught's still around. Why is the president? Now we've all realized that Vought is the problem, and Vaught's been controlling all of this. Why is the new president not got rid of them? Instead, he set up a task force to fight the Soups for Vought.
We needed another supernatural cameo.
Or, you know,
it's like, how else are we supposed to keep the universe going?
Have Kimiko
also, is this spin-off series planned? Like, are they planning to just like
Mexico?
They got the VCU, the Vought Cinematic Universe, guys.
Isn't that funny? They've been making fun of the MCU this whole time, and they're just copying it.
They just became it. So that battle. So were you going to say something, Odin? Sorry.
Yeah, I would say, like, because also it's frustrating because you're like, okay, so you've just also created Kimiko with the ability to take away powers. So you theoretically could, utilize that to take away all the Soup's powers instead of just killing them.
Yep.
You could have at least thought about it, brought it up in some way. It doesn't come up in any capacity.
Butcher put the virus in the water supply in the Vought Tower, which now
what
they're
going to
get. And they're going to...
There's a fire. They're fire.
I hope he walked out and forgot about that. That would be amazing.
I didn't mention this in my video, but Huey took the vial and didn't tell anybody. Didn't tell anybody. And I guess there's another one still, too. The whole thing is there's no closure. You killed Homelander. Okay, that's it. And Butcher's dead. And the reason it got so fucked up is because they wanted to get the crowbar in, and they wanted to make it kind of like the comics. But that final battle in the Oval Office was fucking stupid. They nerfed Homeland. He could have killed them. He had multiple opportunities to leave or kill them.
And a lot seconds early.
A lot of
them
laser,
showed that,
the laser
right?
eyes that Butcher tanks is like, no, hang on. I know Butcher has powers, but he shouldn't be powerful enough to just take a laser blast and shrug it off.
Kimiko got cut in half by them early in the same season.
Yes.
Like she got blasted.
Same season.
And Homelander flew to space with Elon Musk insert 5 seconds ago.
So
he's back in 2 seconds.
The one thing you have in that moment, in that fight, is Homelander doesn't run. Because he's already shown if he gets into a situation where he's outgunned, he'll run. Because he's not stupid. But in that moment you go no, I'm immortal, I'm invincible, and you don't mention Kimiko to him, you don't flat out tell him you have a silver bullet sitting right there in front of him, and then you let him go, I don't care what you do, you can't hurt me anymore. And then that fight happens, and they promised everybody you didn't know who was gonna live or die in this season, and they killed one dude.
Yep. And also if he's fast enough to go to space that quickly.
Yeah,
he is fast enough to kill all of them in 2 seconds.
They killed the Deep. My favorite thing, they flew him out to the deep. The nearest ocean is 50 miles away from the White House. She was flying for a long time. Yes. It is a case of, if you have a guy called the Deep who is essentially Aquaman, don't take him to pissing water.
Okay,
like,
wait,
all the places you can
Dispro, I think that's just an outright failure on the writing. Because everyone was like, oh, she took him there because she knew the sea creatures like hate him. And it's like,
no, she didn't.
She didn't.
She didn't.
She can't talk to animals, so she has no idea.
She just randomly ended up, miles away at the beach.
Well, it's
she took him to his superpower.
Because she didn't know that, she took him to his HQ.
Yeah,
right.
She was literally the one that knocked him into the water.
They made it sound like something crazy was going to happen with the Deep. And I'm like, if you really wanted to, like, you just take away his powers, he ends up in prison, and he just gets, like, gets passed around like a peace pipe or something. Yeah, that's the worst thing that could happen to him.
Yeah. The first thing is him having to get down on his knees
they would
and
make
do
him
something.
enjoy that.
Just like they did.
It's like a whole circle of,
like this shit writes itself, y'all. Like, and they, and that's the thing. And me and Disper actually talked about this a little bit. Like, if you take away Homelander's powers, you can't kill him. Because the worst thing that could ever happen to him is to him be powerless and a regular person. One of you now. Because if you go apotheosis, I'm a god now, then the alternate of that is not death. It's actually just being powerless. That's the worst fate possible. But they couldn't get out of their own way enough to go, nope, he doesn't have any powers, we have to kill him. And they'll use the comics to justify it. Guys, it's in the comics.
No, stop. Like, just fucking stop. I knew this show was in trouble even before season 1 when they gave the female of the species a name because they wanted her to have her own agency, right?
God.
So, and they dialed back all the abuse that Starlight went through, which was a lot. And they were like, "Well, we didn't want to portray that on TV." It's like, you portrayed it in the comics. Who gives a shit?
Well, and not only that, but they don't want to portray that in the comics. But last season, they had Huey strapped to a table getting sodomized by Batman and then had to apologize to his girlfriend about it.
Yep.
He's literally having a breakdown about horrible stuff that happened to him. And she's like, yeah, well, guess what? I killed your child. So, like, apologize to me. And he's like, okay. All right.
There's an interview with Eric Kripke where Variety brings that up, and she's like, "This is horrific. Like, why would you do that to him? Because his father's just died and everything." And he goes, "What? Well, that's a really awful, a dark take on it. We thought it was hilarious." And so he thought the entire scene was funny.
When you just said the female of the species guy, I was getting like wires crossed. Like, you talk about Homelander. I was like, I was just thinking, like, would it be Homelander? Would it be like the girl?
Maybe. Like Homelander.
I wouldn't put it past them. This is the kind of thing where it's like, oh, they could have done this. It's like, well, it has to be humiliating and exploitative to the nth degree, which is actually why, in some ways, I'm surprised he died so quickly. Yeah. Homelander. Yes. Like, all of us here, if we wanted someone to suffer, it's like killing them is actually. You might want to put that a little bit later.
You know why?
But they figured the humiliation ritual was probably good enough at that point.
No, it's because
keep him immortal. Keep him immortal as a normal bloke that is at the whims of everyone else around him would be Homelander's worst nightmare. If you want to say that he's a power-hungry freak that has to be in control of everything, and he's really like Trump, and all he wants to do is rule the entire universe and say he's God, then making him the lowest of the low, like just a hobo on the street that no one will help or talk to.
What they want their Trump fantasy, and that's what's been happening with Trump throughout the last couple of years.
So they kill him.
They want that to happen,
like halfway through the episode too. And then they have to rush everything else, and I really hated that they made Butcher like he's a hero. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Butcher is the Kripke self-insert. Homelander is Trump. That's why that's why it was a kill shot. You couldn't let him live because Kripke, very clearly from what we're seeing online with how he's responding to Elon Musk, it's like, no, Kripke wants blood. He's going to get it.
Yep.
And there would have been nothing more poetic than to realize that Butcher is just as bad as Homelander. Like, that was kind of, I thought, the point they were going to go with in the beginning was like, these guys are on a collision course.
In the comics, he's worse.
He's worse. Yeah.
He's worse. He kills mother's milk, kills female, kills Frenchie.
Yeah.
Well, because Eric Kripke has commented on that, and he said the reason why he didn't do it is because he didn't feel that the comics book ending was satisfying to him. I'm like, do you think this ending will be satisfying to anybody?
I think
him. He didn't care about anybody else.
Could you imagine though, like, you get to that moment and like Homelander's dead and you think everything's good, and Butcher just slaughters the boys, and it's just like, yo, what? Because
that ending would have been, I think that would have caused a lot of conversation.
We would have been talking about it for the next 15 years.
Yep.
And now nobody's going to be talking about this show in a year.
No. Imagine making a video saying that the Boys series is better than the comics a few years back. How do you feel now? Probably pretty silly. Little silly. Okay, so the memes have been great.
Dude, the memes have been good.
The memes are killing me, dude.
Fucking insane. After all the praise everyone has said that Homelander's down to Anthony Starr, his death scene to humiliate him is still about how good he was at delivering it, and the memes have gone crazy again.
Have you seen how Eric Kripke is now throwing Anthony Starr under the bus as his defense?
Yeah, I've seen that.
So... because people have been going, well, Anthony Starr, his comments, and he's like, I don't want him to be Trump and all this kind of stuff. And people like him. He said, so speaking about Anthony Starr, I reached out to him before the script came out, and I said, he's got to go out in the most pathetic way possible. And Starr said, of course he has to. This is the end. He has to get his comeuppance. And then, as a matter of fact, he added the line, I'll eat your shit on live TV. So he is saying that this ending that you all hate is Anthony Starr's fault, not his.
He definitely is trying to be like, you guys seem to like him and not like me, even though we came up with this together. So, like me a bit, right?
This is what I mean. He drags everyone down to his level rather than making, uplifting himself.
And he admitted, he's never written a finale. So, and it shows.
Yes, it shows. Yep.
Man, I hope Anthony Starr, I hope he gets a show that's actually good. That
he has
Banshee,
one.
Man.
Yeah, I heard about Banshee.
Banshee is awesome.
I started.
So good.
Did you see on The View though, where they bring up that Eric Kripke? They bring up that Eric Kripke says that he's Trump, and he actually goes, "Yes, he does," and he makes a praying symbol as if, "Oh no, I can't believe you've done this to me."
Oh, dude. There's been so many good ones.
Dude, there's some really good ones.
I like the I'll eat your shit on the dark side of the moon.
That's crazy work, bro.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, dude.
Where's the...
Mr. Anderson.
I will eat your...
There's a Lord of the Rings one. There's another one that was funny as hell. I can't
There's
remember.
a Hitler one, the Hitler movie.
Dude, that one made my video.
Dude, did you
The way down?
Do you guys see the Xenomorph one that just says hiss, hiss, hiss over and over?
Oh my God.
On the Minas Tirith lawn.
Oh, dude. Hey, thank you for the memes, the boys. Some of the best memes we've ever seen from a TV show. I had to do it. Sorry. I posted on Twitter, hi Reddit, and I just wanted to point out all the times I appear in the Boys comics, which is twice, issue 23 and 37. I make appearances in the Boys comics because I know the artist, the co-creator of the show. Don't know how happy he will be with my final review. Listen, Derek, I love you. I hope you got a big fucking bag of money and you never have to work another day in your fucking life. All right.
Hell yeah.
So hell yeah, Derek. With you and your lovely family could all live in peace from all the money you made from this. But so there's I have the original art from that stuff too.
Nice.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was neat being in a comic book.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.